Hey, what's up, guys? This is Mike McKinstry with Bassquatch Hunter TV. You are on Coffee with Bassquatch, volume number 7. So as you notice, there's two big differences. This episode, we are in my fishing room that I've been working on rebuilding for the last couple days. So it is a disaster and it's not fully finished, but you can see behind me, this is what I have started so far. So I have my Z-Man wall, with some of my favorite finesse baits. I have my miscellaneous wall that I'm still working on. I have my crankbait and chatterbait wall that I'm still working on too. Of course, my picture of my PB back here. Got a lot of cool things going on in this room as soon as I can get it finished. But I want to start the video out in here because this is what I've been working on. So, a little change of pace. So now, we are going to walk into the studio room, and you're gonna get a little behind the scenes view on my journey over here. If you can see below me too, all my camera gear is ready to go. I will be out filming today, and I'm pretty excited to do that because I haven't been out filming all week. So let me get this camera set back up in the studio room, and we will continue our chat. See if I can get the phone holder to work correctly. Boom, without turning it off too. So it's going to be a little bit sketchy with this background because I switched to a smaller background. There we go. So what's up, guys? Welcome back to the studio room. So I wanted to start out that video in the fishing room only because it's something I've been working on for the last couple days, and I really wanted to show you guys what I was working on. So as always, guys, we're gonna chat today until my coffee is gone. So I have this big double cup of coffee, and until this is gone, we're gonna stay on here and chat. John Kincaid, how you doing, man? Good morning, sir. Happy day after Halloween to you. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, anything during this video, please comment below and I will address them as soon as possible. If I don't address them during the video, I will address them directly after the video. I'm trying to angle this down a little bit. So we're going to do a couple things today. We are going to talk about a few things coming up, some cool news and some upcoming things with Bassquatch Hunter TV. We're also going to talk about some cool kayak fishing stuff just in general, and we're also going to talk about a raffle. So on volume 6, I get these volumes mixed up all the time, so I could be on volume 8 for all I know, but on Coffee with Bassquatch Hunter volume 6, I talked about a raffle that I was doing where I was giving away some baits, giving away some hats, giving away some shirts, giving away some decals, giving away a bunch of stuff. And to enter, you have to go to the Bassquatch Facebook page, which is at Bassquatch Hunter. And then you have to hit like on that page, and you have to subscribe to this channel, and then comment done under the other video. The problem is, Kevin Sendell said, morning, sir. Good morning to you. The problem with that is I need to have at least 20 people enter the raffle. It doesn't sound like much, but when I do these videos, it's during the weekdays and it's during the mornings, so it's the smallest audience I could possibly get, which I do on purpose because I want to be able to have a more personal talk with you guys. If I had 50 people on here asking questions the whole entire time, I won't be able to really chat as much. So I do these on purpose to a smaller audience to kind of get a one-on-one feel for all you guys out there that are watching. So, I didn't get a lot of entries in there yet, so I want to remind you guys to go to the Bassquatch Hunter Volume 6 video. Comment done in the comments of that video if and after you have hit the like button on the Facebook page and hit the subscribe button on this page. Then you are entered in the raffle. So we're carrying on that raffle still for one more week. So next week, it doesn't matter if there's only 5 entries or if there's 25 entries. I'm going to do the raffle next week. If there's 5 entries, that means every person's going to win a prize, which is pretty cool. I don't care either way. I just want to give away free stuff. I don't care if it's one person that's getting all of it. I don't care if it's 25 people splitting it or 100 people. I am giving away stuff either way. So if you want to enter the raffle, watch the Bassquatch Hunter Volume 6 video, and that should explain the whole raffle to you as well, or I just explained it here again. But on top of that, we're going to do another raffle. Good morning, Raul. How you doing, man? Hope you had a fun and safe Halloween. The pictures looked awesome of the kiddos. So I wanted to announce another giveaway. So as soon as that giveaway is done, we're going to pick up another giveaway. It's the end of the season. I want to give stuff away. It's just one of those things where it's just easier to give stuff away than it is to not use it, or it is to just keep on promoting brands without giving you guys stuff. So either way, I love giving stuff away. So what I'm going to do is next week, I am going to announce on my Facebook Live. I do a Facebook Live video once a week, which is Coffee with Bassquatch. And then I do my YouTube video, which is the volumes of Coffee with Bassquatch. Which these are going to be more like my podcast, which I will be starting my podcast next year. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm still in the works of getting all the details figured out, but I will be doing a podcast next year, which will also be on YouTube Live, just like this. It'll be Coffee with Bassquatch. I'm just going to make it also into a podcast. Why not do a podcast if I'm already doing a video podcast, you know? So, either way, so we're going to give away some more stuff. So on top of the 5 items that we're going to give away in the other raffle that we're still building up, so you guys have to enter that raffle. On this video, if you guys go on here, if you comment a question, a topic to talk about, or something that we can use for our next video, so like something that we can use for a topic to talk about, whether it's a question that I can answer, which is probably the best way to do it, because I'd rather answer questions and make it more educational for you guys. But if you guys throw out topics, whatever, if I pick your topic or question, and there's going to be more than one, so if I pick your topic or question to answer in the next video, you will automatically win a prize. So the prize can be a lot of things. I'm not going to give the prize away yet. I will announce the prize next week during the video. At the beginning of the video, I'll announce the prize and let you guys know what you'll be winning for me using your question or comment in the topics of the video for next week. So make sure you guys comment on this video. Comment questions, topics, whatever. If you post it on here, I might answer it on here, but it's going to be a short version. Next week, what I'll do, if I pick your question, next week what I'll do is I'll get some notes together on my my trusty notepad that I always keep with me, and I will do like a full video response to it next week, and you will win a prize for me using your question or me using your comment or topic. So, could be fun. You could win a decal, you could win a hat, you could win some baits, you could win a pony, but not likely because I can't ship a pony. You could win a new kayak, but I don't have any to give you. You could win a lot of things, but most likely it's gonna be some baits or a hat or a decal or all 3. Maybe you'll win all 3. Maybe you'll be a full prize package. Either way, the best way to find out is to win. So comment below on this video with a question that I can answer for a video question next week, or a topic or comment that I can use in the video. And if I choose yours, then obviously you'll win. So let's get going on that too. During this whole video, post stuff for that. Other things I want to talk about, go over some new news and updates that's going on with Bassquatch Hunter TV. So today I am going out, I don't know what time it is, but I think in like an hour, I think I have to take off. Maybe an hour and a half. Erica McKinstry joined. Hi, Erica McKinstry. It's my wife. My biggest fan, I hope. So in about an hour, hour and a half, I take off. I'm dropping Cedar the Poochie off at the groomers to get all prettied up and cleaned up. And then I will be going to a place in Milford to do some filming. And then I will be doing dropping off a sign at a shop, and then this is all within like an hour, and then I have to go film a video today. So I'm filming my first Bassquatch video on a boat. It's not going to be like my month-long experience video, like one of the big episodes. It's going to be a product video that I'm working on, but it's my first one filming on a boat. I was asked by an accessory company and boat company to film this video, and I'm really excited to film it because it's something different. I love being challenged. I love doing things new, and it's the best way to learn, and the best way to evolve is to jump in head first and try something out of your comfort zone and try something new. And I apologize. I'm getting like stuffed up because the weather is killing me and starting to get a little congested. But so anyway, so I'm filming that video today on the boat. It's gonna be like 40 degrees outside today, so it's gonna be interesting. So I'm flying the drone today in the coldest weather I've flown the drone before. Hopefully it stays dry. It looks like it's pretty dry right now, but it's gonna be a different experience for me as far as filming goes. Plus, I'm filming on a boat, which again I've never done. I think it's gonna be a lot easier than filming on a kayak because I'll have more room. I don't have to worry about flipping over. I don't have to worry about waves splashing into my kayak. There's a whole lot of positives, I guess, but the negatives are it's out of my comfort zone. I'm used to filming on kayaks. I'm very familiar with the layout of the kayak, I guess, so it's easy for me to film a kayak. But I'm really excited to do this video. I'm not sure when they're going to release it, but I will film it today, and I will edit it in the next couple days. Also, my November video, so I do one video a month that is like, I call them experience videos, where it's either a travel destination or it's a something specific topic, and it's usually a bigger video, it's a bigger production. I put like 30 to 40 hours into these videos that I do once a month. That's why I do only one a month right now, because it is about 30 to 40 hours to do one, not counting the other videos I do and the other stuff that I do. So the last one I did was for October. That was the Ohio rock quarry video, which if you haven't seen, make sure you guys go on and check that out. It's a really cool video. We had a lot of fun making it. It was my wife's favorite body of water we've been to because you could see 30 foot down crystal clear. It was gorgeous. And I'm pretty sure she outfished me again. Chuck Cardina said, "Morning, Mike." Good morning, sir. Hope you had a good and fun and safe Halloween. So the Ohio video was my October video. So my November video is going to be a lot of fun. I've been starting it already, getting it ready to go and getting everything figured out. So I think you guys will like it. It's going to be a little bit different as always. I try to evolve every video. So if you've seen one video and you liked it and you haven't seen any other videos, you have to go back and check out some other videos because I try to evolve. If you watch my Bassquatch Hunter episode 1 that I did with Chad Hoover back in January, if you watch that video and then you compare it to any other video I've done, hopefully you guys agree. I've tried to improve every video. I've learned a lot more editing skills, a lot more filming skills. I've upgraded a lot of my gear, my equipment. I put a lot more time into it. I've evolved and learned along the way, and I'm going to keep on doing that as long as I live. So every video I do and every piece of work I do, I hope is an improvement from the one before, and I hope it kind of gets you guys more excited about watching what's next. So the last video I had a lot of fun with. It was a great time, but the next one I'm pretty excited about too. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So, I just got a text message. The guy that I'm filming with today on the boat, I think just moved it forward 2 hours. Crap. So I'm gonna have to figure that out really quick. Anyway. So what else is going on? So in about 3 weeks, we'll be heading down to Tennessee, my wife and I will be filming with a few people. I got 3 or 4 guest people set up so far. I'm going to film a couple spots in Tennessee, probably one in Georgia, Kentucky, and North Carolina. And on the 25th of November, I am going to be filming with Gene Jensen, the Fluke Master. That'll be the second, or technically third video that I filmed with Gene, but it's going to be the second time that we filmed together. Last time we filmed together, we had so much good content and so much good footage that we ended up making 2 videos about one visit, because we made a bet, so we had like a 2-part video. We had the experience, and then we had the bet. This time, not sure what's going to happen yet. It's going to be fun, though. It's going to be a lot of fun. So you guys are mighty quiet. I did see a comment come through that I missed. Raul Ramirez says, we did. It was a little bit cold. My son has been sporting the Bassquatch TV hat, by the way. Oh, it's awesome. You got to post some pictures of that, too. So there was someone else had their kid wearing a Bassquatch hat, and they posted it on Facebook, and I shared it, and it got more likes than any other post I did of me wearing a hat. So I decided that it's probably better if you guys post pictures of your kids wearing hats, because it gets way more attention than anything I do. I don't know if it's because kids are cuter than me, because kids are more fun than me. Kids are overall better than me, than most people, I guess. So that's probably why. But yeah, if you got good pictures of that, then post that on Facebook and tag me in it because I want to see it. That's awesome. That's really cool. I thought about doing like youth size hats and like kids apparel. I thought about doing that a couple times because there's a lot of people that have kids that, even if they're like 10 to 15 years old, that are actually fans. Like they watch my YouTube channel and they come out fishing with me, and like they're really good kids, and I want to be able to give them stuff to promote and give them stuff to wear to make them, you know, feel like they're part of the group. And it's hard because there's so many different sizes when it comes to kids and youth and stuff like that. Adults, it's like a one size fits all thing. He said my kids always get more likes on anything than me. Yeah, it's kind of how it is. It's like my wife. If I post like my wife catching that muskie, I think I had like 100 likes on that picture the day that I posted it, and then I could catch my like personal best record bass and post it, and I'll get like 100 likes over the course of a month. So it's, you know, women and children take priority all the time, which is fine with me. I totally agree. In my life, women and children are way more important than myself or any adult that I know. So I totally agree with that. I just missed another comment. The comments come on here really fast and they disappear really fast. Raul said junior squash. Yeah, there you go. So it's funny because my wife gets a lot of nicknames when I travel, and people call her the Fish Slayer was the last one. We showed up in Ohio, and people are like, "Where's the Fish Slayer? Where's your wife?" And I was like, "Forget me. Here she is. Here's the Fish Slayer." I call her the Bassquatch Huntress sometimes, and then I forgot who it was, but someone else called her Squatch Junior. I thought it was kind of funny. But the funniest part is that she outfishes me a lot. Like she's not a slouch when it comes to fishing. Like she can keep up kayaking, she can keep up fishing. She'll outdo me fishing a lot. And you know, I say it all the time on here, but the reason why she outfishes me isn't because she studies more than me, isn't because she fishes more than me. It's because she doesn't let fishing get to her head. She doesn't take it seriously. She doesn't take it too seriously where she lets it like take over her life. So when I go out fishing, I'm thinking of like the lunar phases, I'm thinking of the wind direction, I'm thinking of the water clarity, I'm thinking of structure, I'm thinking of fish behavior, I'm thinking of all these things like the thermocline, the water columns. And that's how I choose my colors, my baits, and I have all these things going through my head the whole time. Every cast, I'm just like micromanaging every single move that I make. I'm like, oh, maybe I moved that too fast, or I didn't let it sit long enough. When she goes out fishing, since she doesn't take it as seriously as me, she does it for fun. She does it as like a therapy thing where she likes to go out and have a good time and enjoy herself. She goes out and she just throws the bait around. I mean, she throws a chatterbait 99.9% of the time all year long. Any water condition, any water clarity, she'll throw a chatterbait all year long. And it works. It's almost funny to me because we'll be fishing somewhere, there'll be 10 of us on the lake. We're all fishing Ned rigs or we're all fishing square bills and we're all catching fish. She'll throw a chatterbait the whole entire day and outfish us. It's just, it's frustrating, but I love it because seeing her happy and her catching a fish is probably the best feeling I've ever had in my entire life. Like, I thought taking my nephew fishing and teaching him how to fish was like the most rewarding feeling I had until I saw my wife catch her first muskie, and that was like if you guys haven't seen that video yet, go back and watch the muskie video of my wife catching her muskie. You can literally, like, I stopped the music in the video so you could hear her scream. And that was across the river. Like, in the video, I zoomed in on the video, like, in production, like, in editing. But in real life, I was probably, like, I don't even know how many 100 feet away from her. But I was, like, I couldn't cast at her. Like, I was far away from her. And I could hear her scream echo down the whole entire river. It was so awesome. Like, it was seriously, like, lit my day up, my week up. It was incredible. So I like seeing her outfish me. It never offends me. It never upsets me. It's one of those things where if anyone's going to outfish me, I'd rather it be my wife than any of you guys, because when you guys do it, I have to hear about it the next time and the next time. When she does it, it's like, yeah, my wife outfished me again. We're kind of all used to it at this point. Raul Ramirez says, I think good video ideas would be kayak fishing techniques, baits, how to work them. Oh, see, it disappeared before I could finish reading it. Hold on. Kayak fishing techniques, baits, how to work them, sitting down for the people that can't or won't stand up in their kayak. That's not a bad idea. Well, the hard part about that is, well, I guess there is some different techniques for sitting down. So I don't sit a lot in my kayak. I stand a whole lot. That's why I have the kayak I have, because I wanted something I could very comfortably stand for a long period of time, or something I could sit in for a long period of time, and I've done both. Kevin said, I just missed the comment again. Hold on. Video idea, how to choose the right paddle. That's a really good one too. That's one I have not talked about in probably a long time. Last year I talked about paddles a little bit. That's a good idea though. I like that one too. So keep the ideas coming, because that was a good one. I like that one. Those are both good ones so far. I'm going to touch base a little bit on the one that Raul said, just because it's something that I think I can address just a little bit right now at least, and if I do use it in the video next week, I can go in a lot more depth for sure. So sitting down, so in my kayak, I have a feel-free lure. My seat lifts up 10 inches off the deck, which is, it's the highest seat in the kayak market. It's also the lowest seat. I can sit lower in my kayak than any other sit-on-top kayak in the market too. Unless you take like the seat out, obviously, but with the seat in it, the gravity seat goes the lowest and the highest. So when I go all the way down in the lowest position, my lure hits the water when I cast. So I have to adjust. It's a super tough, difficult adjustment, because if there's waves or swells, then the water's coming up right to the side of my kayak. I have to cast like up in the air like this, which I don't like doing. I sidearm is all I cast. I never overhead cast. I don't like doing the weird 45-degree angle cast. I like sidearm. I do a lot of backhand cast. I'm actually more accurate in my backhand cast than I am with a forehand cast on 90% of my baits, because I backhand cast so often. That's something I adapted with my kayak the way I have it set up, because on my right side of my kayak, which is I cast on my right side, so my right side of my kayak is where I have my camera boom, and it's right next to my seat, and it goes behind me or swivels to my side or front, so I can't cast on my right side a lot when I'm filming. So I got really good and really used to casting my backhand my left side. So I can actually cast my left side most of the time more accurately than my left side, just because it's something I'm so used to doing now. But when I'm sitting down, that's the hard part. When I'm sitting down, I hit the water when I cast my left side, because I'm not used to it as much, and I don't hit the water on my right side. Also, on that note, when I'm throwing a bait caster, the best way to not nest up a bait caster, besides the obvious, like tuning your reel correctly, balancing your reel correctly is the #1 thing. The second thing is don't cast directly into the wind. That's almost an obvious thing. Third thing is make sure your lure does not hit the water when you're casting. A lot of guys do that. Well, they'll lean back and cast, and you have to keep tension on your line at all times. That's the best way to cast a bait caster. You can't do a back and forth cast, because you'll have that moment where the lure whips back, and then when it comes back forward, if you don't time it perfectly with the whip of your rod, then you're going to backlash almost every single cast, because you're going to have that one split second where you're going to have slack in your line, you'll get air underneath your reel, and you'll see that go and nest up, and you're done. And it'll be a terrible nest. The other thing is when you go to wind your lure back, and if you let it hit the water, so you go to cast and your lure skips across the water when you wind up, you'll backlash every time. And that's one of the worst backlashes you can get. So what I do, I've always done this when I have my bass boat too. When you have a bait caster and you're casting, especially like a longer distance cast, then you do a loop cast. A loop cast is where you do a loop. So you keep tension on your bait as it goes around. So it's a nice fluid motion of your bait. So you wind it up, you bring it forward, and your bait goes like this. And you cast out. So you keep tension on your line at all times, and you control the whip of your rod with when you let go of your thumb on the bait caster, and you'll get a perfect cast every time. And if you have a good reel that's balanced, like my 13 Fishing Concept A that I have on my chatterbait rod, that is my favorite reel I've ever owned. And I literally can do a lot of things with that reel without nesting up that I couldn't get away with on another reel. Like I can get away with a lot, and I won't nest it up. So when I throw that thing out, I do a loop cast with my chatterbait every time, and that's like it's a 6'9" medium rod. So I have a lot of whip on it, and I make sure I do a good loop cast with it. But when you're sitting down, you can't loop cast because you'll hit the water. So that's all I was getting at, is if you Yeah, loop cast is also called roll cast. It's the same idea. I call it a loop cast. I've always called it a loop cast, and I'm not sure if roll cast is like the legitimate name for it, but I've always called it a loop cast. But yeah, same idea. Bring the lure in a loop and let go. You get a nice fluid motion out of it. What was that comment that I missed? Kevin Sandell said, never been in a kayak, going to order the new Bonafide kayak. That's awesome. So I paddled the new Bonafide kayak quite a bit in Wisconsin. I think it was like, I'm so bad at time frames, but I think it was like a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago. And the Bonafide was a sweet kayak. It was a lot more stable than I expected, and some of the features were pretty cool. I will say the pros of that kayak, and this is just my opinion, this is not like the gospel, like don't try it out yourself. Every kayak in the world is good. Like every brand makes a good kayak now. Now it's just personal preference. So now it's at the point where that's what's cool about where the sport's at, is that anybody can try any kayak. It might be the worst kayak for me, but it'll be the best kayak for you. So you'll never hear me like badmouth a brand or a kayak, because there really isn't. Like Pelican makes a good kayak if that's what fits you. Like every kayak brand makes a good one now. Like we've gotten so advanced in the sport where not one brand makes a bad kayak. So it's really cool. Like I love where we're at right now, because no matter what brand you want, you can find a kayak. It all comes down to budget. It all comes down to trade-offs. So every brand will have a trade-off. So like for example, I use Feel Free. So my Feel Free lure is the best for me because it's the most stable kayak that I found that can still paddle well. The seat is the most comfortable seat. The mounting options, the stability of the deck. There's an aluminum reinforced platform, so there's more stability in the deck. It doesn't flex. You could stand 300 pounds in the middle of it and it does not flex. So you feel like you're on a bass boat, which is why I went to the Feel Free, because I came from a bass boat. I wanted something that felt the same as my platform of a bass boat. And the Feel Free has the most deck space. Like, it was perfect for me. But if I was paddling rivers all the time, I would never be in a Feel Free. I would never be in the Feel Free lure, at least, because the lure series is made for stability versus speed. It will not paddle the fastest. If you're trying to keep up with other kayaks like the Wilderness Attack, like the Natives, like a lot of other brands, if you try to keep up with them, especially Jackson, like if you put any Jackson kayak head-to-head with a Feel Free lure in a river, like going down a current and paddling a lot, you will never want to be in a Feel Free. Feel Frees do work in the river. I have fished plenty of rivers in the Feel Free, and I have no problem with it, but I also understand that I made a trade-off for stability versus speed. And it's not that big of a difference, but it is a difference. So it's the same thing in any kayak. So the Hobies, for any pedal drive. So pedal drives have their advantages. Obviously, on big bodies of water, it'll help you a lot more with moving. You can move a lot more freely. Your legs will give out, or your legs will actually last way longer than your arms will. So you'll burn out your arms way before you'll burn your legs out. Your legs are a bigger muscle. They're used a whole lot more. So you can get away with a lot more pedaling. So pedal drives are awesome. Let's say you're going down that river again. Now, in most rivers that are super shallow, that's the problem. If you go down a super shallow river that has rocks, logs, a lot of structure, you get in spots that are this deep, your pedal drive is not only useless, but now it's a burden. So that's what I'm saying with trade-offs is whenever I sell people kayaks and people come to me at expos and say, what kayak should I buy? People always think and assume that I sell them a Feel Free automatically. I don't. I do sell a whole lot of Feel Frees, but it's because it's a great kayak. I also sell a lot of Hobies. I sell a lot of Wilderness, sell a lot of Jackson. Whatever fits you as an angler or as a kayaker the best, that's what I try to get you in. So I always tell everybody, don't ever listen to anybody, including myself, about what kayak to buy. Go to a local demo, go to a local shop, and try one for yourself, because I could tell you what I think is the best, but no one knows what fits you the best except you. And I did the same thing. I spent 8 months looking at a different brand, and I went to a store to go buy it, and I saw Feel Free, and I've never heard of Feel Free, and I was like, what's that? And the guy goes, oh, you don't want that. I'm like, why? Oh, it's slow. I'm like, it's a kayak. Like, what do you mean it's slow? Like, if I paddle it, how is this one slower than that one if I paddle it the same? I didn't understand kayaking as much. So I got in the Feel Free, and as soon as I sat in it, I'm like, this is it. This is my kayak. I spent 8 months looking at this other one that I came here to buy, but within 5 minutes, that's the one I want, because I walked around on it the first time I was in it. which I couldn't believe I could do. I was so scared. I was like, I'm going to fall over. It was perfectly fine. I sat in the seat. The seat is what sold me. And I was like, this is the most comfortable kayak I've been in. I can't believe how high it lifts up. Like, it feels like I'm in a bass boat again. And when I paddled it, I didn't notice it was slower because I didn't know what to compare it to. Now that I've been in 35 different kayaks over the last 2 years, now I know my kayak is a little bit harder to paddle, especially in wind, because I have a flat, wide kayak. So either way, going back to the Bonafide is very stable. It has some really cool features on it. It's definitely a cool kayak. For my personal preference, it's harder to paddle than my kayak. It feels like I was paddling a big sheet of plywood. Super wide, super stable, really flat, very easy to stand on, and very stable when you're standing, but it feels like you're pushing a snowplow when you paddle it. And that's just a trade-off. That's something you're trading off because you have a super wide, flat kayak. So if you want a kayak that's not that fast, but it's comfortable and stable, then the Bonafide's a great kayak. The Feel Free's a great kayak. If you want something that's faster, that you can paddle a lot easier, that won't catch wind as much, then you should look at every other brand out there. Wilderness has the Attack, which is good for that. The Old Town Predator is an amazing kayak in the wind, and for paddling and pedaling, and that's a cool kayak. The Hobies, the Compass is an awesome new kayak. The Outback's an awesome kayak. The Pro Angler is another one that isn't that great to paddle. It's not really made to paddle. So the Pro Angler, if you have to paddle it, it's tough, but also very stable. So they're all trade-offs. That's all I'm trying to say. The fastest kayak you can get in will be probably the least stable because you'll be skinnier, you'll have a V-hull. So either way, just always remember there's trade-offs. There's always trade-offs in the kayak world. If you want the most stable kayak, you're most likely not going to get the fastest. Sandy Cohen said, that's what I need. Is your kayak listed below? So go into... on my YouTube channel, which you're on right now, there is a video called How I Rig My Kayak. If you watch that video, you can see my whole kayak setup, the way I have it rigged up, at least for this year. I change it a lot, so that's the way I've had it set up this whole year, is on that video. Next year, I will have a totally different setup because I'm switching over to the new Feel Free kayak, the Dorado, next year. I'll still have a lure because I love the lure series. I'll always have a Feel Free lure. But my main kayak is going to be the Dorado next year. So it'll be a totally different platform, different setup. But the way I've had my lure set up for the last 2 years is on this channel. So go to the How I Rig My Kayak and you can see the whole entire thing. I just saw another comment. What was that? Chuck said, my wife says Feel Free lure has a booster seat. I get that joke a lot because I'm short. So I always get that joke that I have a booster seat in my kayak, which is perfectly fine because I do. I have a seat that helps me fish better. I have a seat that boosts me up so I'm taller, so I can see more when I'm sight fishing. I have a kayak seat that boosts my confidence up because I feel like I can stand on, I do stand on top of my seat in the full high position and fish on top of my seat. So yes, my kayak does have a booster seat. It boosts my confidence, it boosts my fishing, it boosts my ability to find fish. And it keeps me feeling taller. Sandy Cohen said, I'm thinking about tournament... let me pull it back up. I'm thinking about tournament kayak fishing, and I was wondering if a trolling motor hookup is allowed. So that's a... Next year, that question will probably be answered differently than it is this year. So this year... electric motors are allowed in specific events. So KBF, kayak bass fishing events, do allow motors. A lot of smaller club level, like local events, don't allow motors. So I always tell people to be on the safe side, plan on not using a trolling motor in a tournament because most likely your local club does not allow it. That being said, I've been in quite a few kayaks with motors, and they're really cool. So there's a really good advantage because you can get to and from your spots very quickly. There is a lot of disadvantages, though, and people don't realize that until they get a motor in their kayak. And the major disadvantages are, no matter where you have your motor mounted, you're going to hit stuff. Like, there's going to be a stump sticking up that you didn't see. There's going to be a huge weed bed that's so dense that you're going to hit. It's going to stop you on a dime. Then you got to try to untangle your motor and fix a prop if you break the prop off your trolling motor. Same thing with pedal drives that have the prop-driven pedal drives. There's a lot of disadvantages. If you're on a big open lake, like if you're fishing a massive reservoir that's 20,000 acres and it's 150 foot deep, almost the whole thing, obviously you're not going to run into structure, you're not going to run into problems. That's where a trolling motor really shines, because you can go a mile without having to paddle, which is pretty cool. The other downside is you have a battery now. So now you're adding somewhere between 10 and 40 pounds, depending on what size battery you get and what kind of battery you get. You're adding a lot of weight to your kayak. So that motor now is working a lot harder to pull your kayak. And then when you have to paddle that kayak because your motor dies or gets tangled or broken or something, now you're paddling an extra 30, 40 pounds. So you also have your other downfall, which is obviously going to be the part where you can use your motor to get out somewhere, but if your motor dies, you're paddling back. So there's a lot of people forget about the downsides of having a motor. So as long as you remember there are things you need to keep in mind with having a motor, then you'll be fine. Also make your motor detachable. That way, if you go to an event and they say, sorry, no motor's allowed, you can detach your motor pretty quickly. I've also seen guys do that, where they mount their trolling motor in their kayak in a spot where they can't take it out, where it has to stay in, which I never understood that, but I've seen it. So don't do that. Make it easier. But always check with your local clubs. If you're doing tournaments, just check with them ahead of time. Usually it's on their Facebook page, on the event page, or on Tourneyaks. It's pretty easy to find, or shoot them a message on Facebook. It's pretty simple to get information in this community. So if you want to know if your local tournament or whatever event you're doing allows trolling motors, ask. It's the easiest way to do it. So you guys know too, this is the mug I'm using today. We live in the age, or in the era, of smartphones and stupid people. It's one of my favorite mugs. So Teddy commented, streaming you live from Vietnam while here for work is an awesome way to pass the time. When you can get out to fish, you ever get to fish in other countries. Well, thank you, Teddy. You're definitely, I think, my first guy that's ever been on here from Vietnam. So thank you. And good morning, Vietnam. I've always wanted to say that, and now I think it's the first time I've actually been able to use it in the right context. So, yes, thank you for that. So I have not fished other countries yet, besides Canada, which Canada technically is a different country, but at the same time, it's not. It's kind of like having someone live above you in an apartment building. It's like, yes, it's a different apartment, but you're in the same building, so it doesn't seem that different. So I fished in Canada, and that's it. I will be, hopefully my wife is not watching this video now because she's going to freak out if I say this, but I am actively trying very hard to set up a trip to be able to kayak fish in Thailand for next year. It's been a dream of my wife's longer than I've known her, actually, and it's been something that I've been more and more curious about. So I'm trying really hard to find a way to set up a trip to Thailand, but other than that, I think Canada is the closest I'm going to be to fishing out of the country. Maybe South America coming up. Maybe New Zealand. I don't know. But no, I have not done it yet. And I'm super, super jealous that you're in Thailand, or in Vietnam right now, if you're able to fish, because I heard it was incredible fishing down there too. And thanks again for watching, man. I really appreciate it. It's cool. That's really cool that you're all the way down across the world and checking out my video. Anyway, so my last sip of coffee, and then we're gonna wrap this video up. So make sure you guys watch some other videos on this channel. Check out the last Ohio video I did. Watch the Bassquatch, or Coffee with Bassquatch Volume 6 to enter the other raffle that we're gonna pull next week. And then make sure you post questions, comments, or topics on this video, and if I select your question or comment to use in the next video, then you are definitely going to win a prize. And right now I only have 2 suggestions, so odds are pretty good they're going to win some prizes, so you guys need to start throwing some more stuff on there. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel that you're on right now, hit subscribe if you haven't already, and watch some videos. What's up, Gunther? How you doing, man? I'm just getting ready to finish the video up too. So if you guys have any questions about the gear I use, the products I use, all of the tools that I use to help me do what I do, watch my video of how I rig my kayak, or look at my descriptions of my other YouTube videos, and you'll see links to all the brands. You'll see links to Yak Gear, to Feel Free, to Yak Lights, to FX rods, to Burn Custom baits, everything I use. So go through there. If you have any questions, you can always message me. You can always go to Bassquatch, at Bassquatch Hunter on Facebook, or just type in Bassquatch, it'll come up. You can always message me on Facebook, and I'll always answer you 24 hours a day. So thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate your guys' support, as always. Sandy Cohen said, I think we follow each other on Instagram. I'm pretty sure. I try to follow everybody. So if you send me an Instagram message that you want me to follow you, and 99% of the time I'll follow you. The only time I won't is if you have like some kind of weird BS account, which I've had happen so many times. But other than that, I try to follow you guys as much as you follow me, because what's the point of supporting me if I don't support you back? So I've always been that way. So if you guys have YouTube channels, feel free to tag them below, and I will go through and check out some videos and subscribe to your channel. Also, make sure you subscribe to mine. I need to build my subscribers up, and that's what makes me do what I do. So thank you guys for your support. Thanks for hanging out on Coffee with Bassquatch. Hope you guys enjoyed the chat as much as I did, and I will see you guys on the water soon. Thanks, guys.